You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Welcome to Live at 4. Breaking news. A deadly crash on I-39 near Beloit is backing up traffic.
The Wisconsin Department of Transportation says the crash happened just before noon today. A Rock County Highway Department plow truck was clearing snow on the shoulder of Interstate 3990. A semi-tractor trailer heading south struck the rear passenger side of the truck, causing the tractor trailer to jackknife and block all southbound interstate lanes. The driver of the semi-tractor trailer has died. The plow's driver is not hurt.
And here's a live look at the situation. You can see multiple agencies are still responding hours after the crash happened, and it's still backing up traffic. WISC has alternate routes available for drivers. And now let's go to meteorologist Blaze Keller for more on how this is impacting traffic and those conditions out there. Blaze?
Yeah, we have our traffic map pulled up here. And again, that triangle is going to indicate where that crash is most likely. So north of Turtle there, you can see all the way up to really the southern extent of Janesville on 39 is backed up. So as Brady mentioned, detours are possible. So you may want to take those detours if you need to get home quickly this evening. Otherwise, we're just eyeing a few lingering flurries as expected as we begin to wrap up our day on Friday. In the Janesville area, we're beginning to see those flurries exit, pushing more into Lake Geneva, into more of Walworth County. Also seeing maybe a little bit of flurry action back into parts of Dane County, into southeastern parts of Columbia County as well. But the real snow is set to arrive Saturday night into Sunday. This is our next clipper system, and it's really going to live up to its name, clipping us out of here by later Sunday night, if not early Monday morning. In its wake, maybe an inch. Again, not a lot of snow with this. And whatever we do get, whether it's an inch or maybe 2 inches of snow farther north and east, it's going to be more of that light, fluffy snow. So it's really not going to impact you as you look to end your weekend and then start off next week. And we're not anticipating any snow during your next Monday morning commute. We're headed into the teens tonight, pretty seasonal with mostly cloudy conditions, turning partly cloudy as the night goes on. We are going to talk more in depth about this latest round of snow coming up on Sunday in the full forecast.
All right, Blaze, thank you. An update to the October homicide in Sun Prairie. The Sun Prairie Police Department is providing us with an image of a vehicle of interest. Take a look at your screen. Police say this car was involved in the deadly shooting near the intersection of Martin and Elm Streets on October 18th of last year. That killed one person and left another injured. Anyone with information about where this car could be should contact the police at 608-837-7336.
More breaking news today. The man charged in the New Lisbon triple homicide is in jail on a $5 million cash bond. Virgil Few appeared in Juneau County Court at 2:30 today after New Lisbon police caught him yesterday in Elroy. He's charged with 3 counts of first-degree homicide, one of which has a domestic abuse modifier, 3 counts of hiding a corpse, and several other charges.
And just hours before Thu's arraignment, family hosted the funeral for the suspect's late girlfriend, Elizabeth Kolba.
Our Tanisha Shaw spoke to Kolba's mother in Juneau County.
The world lost a very special and important person, and she had so much life left and so much left to give.
Family held a memorial service for Elizabeth Kolba Friday. She's one of the 3 victims in the New Lisbon triple homicide.
Elizabeth was very bubbly and bright. Always had a smile and a hug. She brought joy to everybody around her. I tell everybody we lost an earth angel.
Kolba's mom, Delcy Dick, did not want to show her face on camera.
And I talked to her on the phone 2 days before they pronounced her dead.
What was that conversation like?
Rough. Because we knew we weren't going to be able to get together for Christmas.
She said that the 33-year-old advocated for autism whenever she could.
And she was on the autism spectrum with Asperger's. If you did something bad to somebody with autism, she would be all over you and say, hey, wait a minute.
Delcy also said that the last time she spoke to her daughter, Kolba and Thu were discussing going off the grid in the state of Oregon. Reporting in Juneau County, Tanisha Shaw, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Tanisha. Thu is expected back in court February 13th.
And after confirming that the victim was in a relationship with Thu, News 3 Now spoke with the Domestic Abuse Intervention Services about the warning signs of domestic abuse and when to reach out.
Isolation in particular is one of the first warning signs of domestic abuse. We really want to encourage people to reach out even when they start having like that kind of inkling that something might be off about the relationship.
All of the resources provided by domestic violence programs in Wisconsin are free and confidential. If you feel like you're in an abusive relationship, you can call Domestic Abuse Intervention Services at 608-251-4445. That's 608-251-4445. If you don't feel safe to call, you can text them at 608-420-4638. Even if you don't live in Dane County, Days will help you connect with the provider in your area.
Students at Abundant Life Christian School are returning to their classrooms today for the first time since last month's shooting.
And in doing so, revisiting the site of a very traumatic event. Maddie Heimsch shows us where teaching and trauma intersect.
In a video sent to families ahead of today's return to school, ALCS Principal Doug Butler said staff had been trained to offer trauma-informed care to its students. So what does that care actually look like, and how are children affected by crises in and outside of school? Experts say trauma's impact on the brain is different for everyone who experiences it. But according to the National Association of School Psychologists recovery guidelines, returning to school helps establish stability and is associated with less traumatic stress. Counseling psychology associate professor Travis Wright says what's most important today is simply making students feel safe.
This is going to change the way they view the world, and it's going to take a while for them to reorient themselves to this new understanding or to integrate what's happened into the way that they view themselves in the world. So, today the goal is to help the kids get to school, get through the school day, feel safe, supported, validated, heard.
Wright says for ALCS students, being inside their school today constitutes a win. Reporting in Madison, I'm Maddie Heimsch, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Maddie. The Office of School Safety has a crisis response and recovery toolkit to support children and adults after a crisis. We have links to those resources up right now on channel3000.com.
Madison police is investigating two separate incidents in which strangers approached kids on their way to Toki Middle School. Police say both incidents happened on Wednesday as a student walked near Leland Drive and Balsam Road. A car pulled over and the male driver said he worked for a rideshare company and offered the student a ride. The driver pulled over and motioned for a separate group of students to get in his car near Gilbert Road and Dorset Drive. The descriptions of the car matched, with all students agreeing the man drove a silver or gray sedan. Now, police have not arrested anyone yet, and they say it's not clear if the incidents are connected. Anyone with information should call Madison Area Crime Stoppers at the number on your screen or submit a tip anonymously at p3tips.com.
We have an update from the American Red Cross of Wisconsin's efforts to respond to the California wildfires. 4 volunteers and 1 employee are on their way to Southern California right now. And the group says it plans to send more soon. Early next week, they'll provide an update. If you want to help people affected by the fires, the Red Cross says you should write California Wildfires 2025 in the memo line of a check and mail it with a completed donation form to the address of your local Red Cross chapter. You can find donation forms to do that at redcross.org/donate. Next on Live at 4, the latest on the fires decimating California.
Plus, how the Supreme Court is poised to rule on the TikTok ban.
Listen, do you ever feel reckless, like you want a large late afternoon cup of coffee?
You started that really extreme, and I was like, whoa, reckless.
Maybe that's just me. Well, the new Caribou Coffee in Madison, the doors are open.
And to celebrate, the coffee chain's location on Buttonwood Drive is offering deals for the first few days it's open if you're feeling reckless, I guess. Tomorrow, people who get a large or extra large beverage will get a free cake pop. On Sunday, large espresso shaker beverages will be sold at a discount, $3. And on Monday, you'll get 50% off a beverage if you get a breakfast or lunch sandwich. The deals continue through January 19th. Caribou Coffee will also donate $1 to the Madison Reading Project for every transaction this Saturday and Sunday. You can find a full list of discounts up at this story on channel3000.com.
Maybe just a small coffee.
There we go. A special shaker sounds like a nice little pick-me-up.
Well, coming up on Live at 4, how a school software cyber attack is affecting Wisconsinites.
Plus the effects of today's jobs report on Wall Street.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Well, there is a live look at the Capitol right now. It is looking wintry out there.
Very wintry, and it's going to get more wintry because more snow is on the way. Isn't that right, Blaze, out there on the flake falling patio?
That is correct, yes. You know, a few snowflakes are falling right now, not only here outside of the News 3 Now studio, but across southern Wisconsin, and more snow is on the way. We wait until Saturday night to really start to see that snow begin. But let's take a look at where that snow is currently falling. We have to take it into parts of Dodge County, just outside of Beaver Dam, the heaviest snow beginning to move into more of the Washington County, Ozaukee, Waukesha County area, maybe scooting through parts of Jefferson County as well. We're seeing a little bit of some light flurry action in the Madison area, back north into Partyville, back east into Jefferson as well. As expected, we're watching this low pressure system move through the area, but we're going to watch as another clipper system moves in beginning Saturday night and brings us more of this light fluffy snow throughout your Sunday morning particularly, and then wraps up as we go into the afternoon hours, really wrapping up there by the time we go into that 6, 7, 8 o'clock time frame. So how much snow could we see with this next round, Saturday into Sunday? Maybe an inch at best, and because this is coming out of the northwest, it's going to be more of that light fluffy snow. This isn't going to be that wet heavy snow that you need the snowplow with. You could probably just move it with a broom, but we're looking at maybe an inch at best for especially northeastern communities. Farther south and west and south and east, you might not even get above a half an inch of snow. Current temperatures quickly upper 20s to low 30s. It's 33 in Boscobel, 30 in Madison, 28 in Janesville and Watertown. It's 31 Cross Plains as well as in Mount Horeb. Will eventually settle into those mid to upper teens tonight underneath partly cloudy conditions, and we're going to track out the snow again, but also talk about how we're going to continue to stay cooler than average here through most of January in the full forecast.
Thanks, Blaze. Right now, a deadly crash on I-39 near Beloit is backing up traffic.
Here's a live look at the situation. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation says the crash happened just before noon today between a Rock County Highway Department plow truck and a semi-tractor trailer. The driver of the semi-tractor trailer died. The plow's driver is not hurt. The DOT is redirecting traffic. State Patrol is still on the scene there.
Schools across the country, including Wisconsin, are affected by a cybersecurity breach.
Power School says a portion of the students, teachers, and families it serves have had their personally identifiable information impacted. Social security numbers, medical information, and more are impacted. The company says they were made aware of the incident on December 28th and have been reaching out to affected customers since. We do know Verona school districts use Power School. WPR is reporting the district confirmed with them that they were affected. And we have a statement from Power School that reads, in part, quote, "We care deeply about these students, teachers, and families we serve and are wholeheartedly committed to supporting them." We also reached out to Wisconsin's Department of Public Instruction, which said, in part, Power School has briefed state officials and confirmed that the breach has been contained. The full scope of the incident and its potential impacts are still under evaluation. The DPI will continue communicating with Power School and local districts to assess the full impact and determine next steps. And the City of Madison's housing vacancy rate is below the national healthy level. For years, the city's been working to fix that issue.
Our Ellie LaLiberte sat down with the mayor today to see what her newest proposal may look like.
Construction like this isn't anything new for Madison, but it's not quite enough to keep up with just how fast our community is growing. That's where the mayor's new proposed zoning changes come in.
The goal is to make zoning code easier to understand and more flexible to encourage housing growth. The changes would help single-family homes and accessory dwelling units. Some of the amendments include allowing more flexibility for how units are arranged with 2 to 3 unit buildings and increasing the interior size for an ADU and eliminating the limits on number of bedrooms.
Anything we can do that makes it a little bit easier to create a home for someone in the city of Madison is going to help solving our housing crisis. So while these are not huge changes, they're definitely part of the larger picture of things that we need to do.
The mayor will introduce changes at the Common Council meeting on January 14th.
And tonight at 6, hear directly from the city's zoning administrator. Reporting in Madison, Ellie LaLiberte, News 3 Now.
Ellie, thank you. To Wall Street, where U.S. stocks fell today. The Dow lost 697 points, the Nasdaq is down 317, and the S&P 500 lost 91. Those numbers are in response to the latest report from the Department of Labor that shows the economy added more jobs in December than expected. In December, the economy added 256,000 jobs, signaling a healthy economy. That's good news, sourcing expectations of future rate cuts from the Federal Reserve.
The flu, COVID-19, and RSV are all increasing here in Wisconsin and nationwide. It comes as the Department of Health Services reports immunization numbers are low. Jim Conway is a professor of pediatrics and the medical director of the UW Health Immunization Program. He says because we didn't see a post-Thanksgiving surge in respiratory illnesses, people let their guard down, expecting a mild flu season. But that's led to people taking fewer protective measures and a more aggressive uptick in illness.
It really does make a big difference to stay home if you're not sick. So don't be a hero. Don't go to work in school just because you think you're a superhero. You're really not doing anybody a favor.
Emergency visits for those infected have also gone up nationwide, meaning those getting sick are experiencing more extreme symptoms. Dr. Conway says it's not too late to get your flu and COVID vaccines.
Well, coming up on Live at 4, are you ready for a cozy weekend?
Yes, always.
Not reckless?
Not reckless, cozy. Maybe a little reckless. Will Loper has you covered with what's new to streaming platforms when we come back. Drama in the emergency room in real time, and an elementary school chapter book favorite is back to haunt us.
Can you just sing like
all
throughout
of the
my
show?
life?
No,
all of it, yes.
No one wants that.
Will Loper has what you should stream this weekend.
Hey, D, what's a good word? 52 in the waiting room, and it's not even 7.
Go to the front lines of an emergency room in The Pit, newly streaming on Max.
Clear. Full suction. Med student down.
Welcome to the pit. Let's go save some lives.
Noah Wiley of ER fame stars in the medical drama that plays out a near real-time 15-hour shift over 15 episodes.
Is it always this busy?
No, it's a lot busier. We finally processed the request.
Only took you 30 years.
Oh, what is that?
My brother's clothes from the night he died.
They were killed by ghosts.
No, nobody knows what happened.
Yo, check this out.
Experience a new chapter of creepy and strange happenings in Goosebumps: The Vanishing, newly streaming on Hulu and Disney+.
Dad! Not a good time, Kevin!
What do you think's out there? Your father.
And follow along with a mother and son trying to survive the harsh Old West in American Primeval, newly streaming on Netflix.
Heading west is a mistake.
I have no choice. Where are you taking us?
You don't listen.
Oh, I listen. I just don't trust you.
Taylor Kitsch and Betty Gilpin star in the series that takes place in 1857 Utah, facing off against wolves, the cold, and bounty hunters.
Everything I've done, it's been to him.
For Live at 4, I'm Will Loper.
So many choices.
So many choices. Goosebumps sounds fun. I love the Goosebumps books.
Do you want to know something about The Pit? Allegedly, it was supposed to be an ER reboot featuring Noah Wiley, who's the main actor in The Pit, but there's some sort of like rights with the people who own it. So allegedly, they retooled it to be The Pit. So it's not an ER reboot, even though it looks like an ER reboot.
Drama.
I know, yes. It all comes back.
Full circle.
Anyway, maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah, you should check it out too.
Coming up on Live at 4, a warning from the World Economic Forum about artificial intelligence.
We sit down with an expert on how AI's rise will impact the economy across the nation and right here in Wisconsin.
On the next Live at 4, psychologist Shyla Murgain joins us to talk about advice to stick with your New Year's goals.
And Will Loper reviews Better Man and The Last Showgirl ahead of the release of Academy Awards nominations.
Well, many of you might think artificial intelligence isn't such a smart idea after all.
A new report shows AI may be coming for your jobs. According to the World Economic Forum survey, 41% of employers say they intend to downsize their workforces in favor of AI.
Professor Steve Knoll with Madison Area Technical College joins us to talk about what this could mean for you. It's kind of scary for some people to hear. Should they be worrying about their jobs now?
Well, you know, in the business world, businesses evolve, businesses change. As new technology is invented and deployed, it changes the workforce. And yes, AI is going to be a major influence in realigning jobs. But, you know, for jobs that may be lost over here, new jobs will be created over here. So at the end of the day, the net loss of jobs is really nothing to worry about. If anything, it's going to create more higher paying jobs.
So tell me, what are kind of the jobs that will definitely be seeing some change, I'm sure?
Sure. Well, you know, one of the things about AI, and really the term AI is really overused. You know, this is really what is called machine learning. It's just using computers to be able to do processes much faster than that a human brain can do. So for example, you do a bunch of research and you get a bunch of data, and then somebody's got to sit down with a calculator and crunch all the number. That's going to take a couple hours. An AI program, a machine learning program, could take that and do that in seconds. So as a result, a person whose job is just to crunch number may not be needed in favor of somebody who is now running the machine learning programs. So we've lost kind of a data entry, data crunching position, but then we've gained a position of somebody overseeing and operating the program and interpreting the data and using the data for bigger things.
So it will reshape the job market, but it sounds like what you're saying is there's still opportunity for like some human collaboration.
Oh, yes. The machines don't run themselves, contrary to what the movies tell you. Yes.
So, you know, it will increase the demand, kind of you said, for technology and some of those specialized roles, but, you know, how will it impact kind of the economy overall?
Well, and that's the big question. You know, a lot of money is going into Silicon Valley, into these companies that are really putting a lot of money into AI. If you've been following the stock market in the last year, the companies that are experiencing huge growth are a lot of companies that are investing heavily into AI. You know, this is really no different than in decades past. You look at new inventions that come onto play, companies invested into, or even the internet back in the 90s, there was a lot of companies that said, oh, will this internet thing catch on? And the companies that really said, you know, like Walmart. Walmart's like, you know, hey, this idea of selling stuff online and selling it in the store, why don't we combine it together? And look what they've done with that. You know, certainly there's going to be a lot of companies that think only AI is the future, and I think we'll see another .com implosion in the next 3 to 5 years. Because I think it's really more, it's got to be integrated into an existing ecosystem. It's not just replacing everything. So it's definitely just more of an enhancement. It's just natural evolution of business.
Yeah, and really quick, we have a few seconds. The higher paying jobs, will people be able to access those? Will there be competition for it? Like the people who perhaps lost their jobs, will these higher paying jobs be feasible for them to get?
Well, there will be restructuring, and that is the thing is, you know, somebody that's doing more of like a manual labor job may not have the skill set to do more of a programming job. That is going to require retraining. You know, there will be a period of that. Hopefully the government will invest in education to get a lot of these people who will be displaced, you know, retrained into higher paying stuff. But it's no different than the rise of robotics and automation in manufacturing. It's a very similar parallel if you look at what happened 30 years ago.
Okay.
Definitely. Well,
Very
Steve,
good.
Feel a little less worried now.
A little less.
A little less.
So, I don't know. AI avatars on the news? Nah, we don't want that. So.
No, we have the real thing here, including meteorologist Blaze Keller. Can't find that on a computer.
No, you cannot. But I am here to talk about the snow that is set to arrive on Sunday, as well as kind of this prolonged cooler than average trend, and take a look back at 2024, because it's going to be contradictive of what we just got out of, this continuing cooler temperature trend. So let's first touch on that snow that is set to move in starting later Saturday night into Sunday. This is our next clipper system. This is most likely going to be wrapping up as we go into the second half of your day on Sunday. The heaviest snow as pictured here on a future track with the dark blues likely falling during the first half of the day. And then by Sunday mid to late afternoon onwards, we dry out. We don't lose the cloud cover, but we kind of say goodbye goodbye to the accumulating snow and just continue to see what we're seeing right now, which is just those flurries, light snowflakes. We're looking at maybe an inch at best, especially further north and east. Farther south and west and south and east, you might not even crack a half an inch because we are expecting some drier air to move back into the picture as this low pressure system moves on through. And a lot of our models are really keeping those totals at or below an inch. So this is not going to be a heavy snowmaker, and even if it was, it would be more of that light, fluffy snow than that wet, heavy snow. But it could be our snowiest day of the year or of the month so far. We've only had trace amounts of snow back on the 1st, the 3rd, and the 6th. We got a lot of ground to make up because we usually accumulate nearly 14 inches of snow in the Madison area throughout January. But this prolonged cooler than average temperature trend is kind of to blame for the lack of snow because it's being brought down and reinforced by a series of high pressure systems. So over the next 6 to 10 days and even further the next 8 to 14 days, we see that confidence growing that we're going to be back underneath these cooler than average temperatures as we look to the final weeks of January. However, before we got into these cooler temperatures, we were actually sitting underneath Wisconsin's warmest year on record with an average temperature of 47.6 degrees. We got December's data from the National Centers for Environmental Information released today. We have a whole Beyond the Barometer write-up about how 2024 shaped for not only the state and the nation, but for the individual counties that we cover here at News 3 Now. Other than that snow on Sunday, we're looking at a pretty dry work week ahead with maybe some snow and warmer temperatures to end next week going into that following weekend.
Well, speaking of AI, it's Tech's big January showcase. CES returned to the Las Vegas Strip this week.
With the futuristic, the fantastic, and some solutions for everyday life, CES 2025 came to a close today after a showcase of robots like Enchanted Tools' social robot. That's a possible helper in hospitality and healthcare.
I don't like that.
Oh, wait, I didn't notice that face. Yeah, that's okay. A Roborock's robot vacuum with a grabby arm that will pick socks up off the floor. Okay, that's fine.
There we go. Keep it manageable, yeah.
Yeah.
And those weird things that help with your tea, I don't know what those are, but I'm sure they're full of tech that's very helpful.
And that's the tea on that.
Yes, it is.
All right, we'll be right back. On the next Live at 4, how to stick to your New Year's resolution. And later on News 3 Now at 6, more from the family of one of the New Lisbon triple homicide victims. Well, thanks for watching Live at 4 today. We hope to see you back here on Monday. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.